$10,000 invested in 2017. My calculations, that would be about $15,000. That means I would have had about $342,000 to this day, where in 2 months I quadrupled my money with a simple investment. And I used to hear people talking like this, but they would never say how, they would never say what. 2 degrees later, and I did not know how to double my money in a day, let alone triple it or quadruple it. Please tell me, what were they teaching me in school? Please. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kedz Abigail here, back again with another video. And I know people get on here all the time and they tell you how excited they are to film these videos, and whether that's true or not, that has nothing to do with me. I'm minding my business. Every single family member or friend that I've literally chewed their ear off talking about this topic, they know how excited I am to actually talk about it, because it's something that I speak about all the time. It's something that I feel like they do not teach us in school. You know, they teach you how to add numbers and multiply, subtract, do physics, genetics, whatever it is, but they do not teach you how to make money. So before I start ranting, I'm going to give you guys a brief synopsis about my life and how I was raised, how I grew up. I took AP classes in high school. I took honor roll classes in high school. I applied to pretty decent colleges. I got into colleges. So my first university I went to was Rutgers University. I went there for 2 years. And then after Rutgers, I went to William Patterson University. Graduated with a degree in math and science. That was my first degree. After realizing that I did not want to work in the medical field, I went back to school and got another degree in finance. So now I work as a finance manager. That's what I work at as my 9 to 5. I'm 27 years old, by the way, guys. That sounded like a whole lot. This is a topic that's going to be very recurring on my channel. Just be prepared. It is definitely a part of self-care, because unless you just got it made and you don't need to think or talk about money. I know if you were like me back in the day, I'd be like, I save my money. I don't even need to be watching this video right now. Yeah, just because you know how to save money, that does not mean you're financially literate. Just because you have degrees, that does not mean that you're financially literate. In fact, one of my favorite books by Kiyosaki, called Rich Dad Poor Dad, mentions how, you know, there are doctors, lawyers, very successful people out here that are completely financially illiterate. Now, I keep on using that phrase a lot, so let me just define what it means. So before I paraphrase, according to Google, to be financially literate means having the possession of the set of skills and knowledge that allows an individual to make informed and effective decisions with all their financial resources. I thought that saving money, even saving money toward the down payment to put down on a house, meant that I was making smart decisions. I was saving a certain amount of percentage out of my paychecks on a weekly or bi-weekly basis whenever I was getting paid. And I would save a certain amount, and then I would go shop or do whatever else I needed with the other amount, and I would pay bills with the other amount. And that was my idea of budgeting. And then also, I'm kind of like downplaying my mentality, because at the time I could have been so much smarter. Just to kind of break it down so I'm not going off into a tangent, and I want to keep this video as organized as possible. So let's talk about the mistakes that I made that caused me to classify myself as financially illiterate at the time. Number one, the first mistake that I made was not educating myself in finances or how to properly manage my finance. I know that sounds crazy, because Kadish, you just told us that you have a finance degree. What do you mean you didn't take the time to educate yourself? Well, let me explain. I did not take the time to educate myself. People educated me in a way that they thought was effective enough. And the answer is, it was not effective enough. They taught me about plenty of life skills. I'm good at the job that I do today, possibly because of what I was taught in school. So I'm not saying school is a waste of time. I'm just saying, as far as this particular topic for me, I never received a class that broke down how simple it was to invest, how to look at investments, how to double my money, even triple my money. You guys, I never knew the concept of making my money work for me and not getting up every day simply working for money. I never understood that concept. I never understood the fact that prioritizing passive income streams would actually benefit me in a way that I couldn't even imagine to this day. So let's fast forward a little bit to 2021, where in 2 months I quadrupled my money with a simple investment in buying a crypto coin. I know that crypto coins are very risky, and me personally, I class my investments from lowest amount of risk to the highest amount of risk and make my decisions thus. So I'm not over here putting over 70% of my money in cryptocurrencies and thinking that I'm being smart with my investments. That's not what I'm doing. In fact, the money that I have in cryptocurrencies are the smallest part of my investment portfolio. But just to paint you guys a picture for this cryptocurrency right here. Why is my screen so dirty? I should definitely put a screenshot here. But basically this says that I invested $1,000 in this cryptocurrency and then sold it for about $4,800 about 2 months later. So I more than quadrupled my income in that 2-month span. There are plenty of examples that I have, especially throughout the past 1.5 to 2 years, where I've done the same thing on a daily basis or on a monthly basis in my portfolio with investing in stocks or trading options. I thought that was like super complicated back in the day. I want to provide enough value in this channel to kind of show you guys these things in such a way where financial self-care is a big deal. Having these skills to do this for yourself is a part of why I'm even going to steer my channel in this self-care direction as well. The mistake that I made of not educating myself, how that is rectified now for the past, I don't know, 2 to 3 years, is that I have been reading as many books as I possibly can, watching as many videos as I possibly can. One of the first books I read was The Intelligent Investor by Warren Buffett. At the time, I knew Warren Buffett was probably one of the most successful at the time, and I saw figures like how he was, you know, a multi-millionaire starting with only $50,000, and I'm like, wow, how? You know, I just wanted to know about these things. After reading Warren Buffett's book, I read Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that book was such an eye-opener for me. And if you guys want to learn the basics of personal finance, or kind of get an in-depth idea or look at financial literacy and what it truly means, I highly recommend reading that book by Robert Kiyosaki. There is an audiobook. I think it's actually available for free on YouTube. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That book talks about escaping the rat race and kind of teaches you how to prioritize making money work for you instead of the other way around. This other book is a recent one that I've been reading by Timothy Ferriss called The 4-Hour Workweek, and these are all great books, but this knowledge was everywhere. But until I was in a position where I actually felt like I needed to learn, as in a situation came around me where I saw a family member or a friend or, you know, somebody suffering and feel like I couldn't help them in any way because, yeah, I had a good job, yeah, I had food on the table, but I feel like I wanted to do so much more, help those people and also help myself, you know, be in a better financial place. The degree, yes, it helps me find a good job. It just leaves me solely dependent on an employer to provide freedom or my financial well-being. While my employer plays a role in that, they aren't the end-all be-all to my financial success. Growing up, I was always taught that, you know, money is the root of all evil, and, you know, evil things happen because of what money does to people. And while I still agree with that statement, you know, I always just kind of shunned at the idea of, you know, making too much money, because I didn't even want, to be honest, that's really what it is. I didn't want to find myself in a position where I lost my values as a person. I didn't want to make too much money to the point where I felt like I wasn't humble anymore or anything like that. And I'm really actually glad that I was brought up that way, because now when I actually defined what money meant to me in this day and age, it would simply be freedom. Not only freedom for me, but even freedom for my loved ones, freedom for my relatives. It was always such a taboo topic. It doesn't make you greedy if you make yourself financially aware. And I know that sounds weird that I'm speaking like that, but genuinely, like, I wish somebody would have told me this. I thought that once the degree and the job came, that okay, that's it, I'm just gonna work till I retire and until I open my eyes to what actually it is supposed to be. If you guys are in that position or anything close to that, the first thing I would say is educate yourself. Educate yourself on what's out there. Dibble and dabble in everything. Well, not everything, but dibble and dabble till you find what works for you. Investing in stocks may not work for you. Investing in properties may work for you. If you know how to flip houses, if you're handy, if you know how to be a good businessman, and if you're a great salesman, like, these are all skills. It's just about the mindset. And even when I had my first job, with the knowledge that I had today, if I applied that knowledge, I would be well off today. I wouldn't even need to work a 9 to 5. I know that sounds crazy, but just to paint you guys a picture, because I used to hear people talking like this, but they would never say how. They would never say what. Let's just pull up a few companies from the market and look at these companies from a 5-year standpoint. If you would have invested $1,000 in Apple in 2017, let's approximate that you would have about 33 shares of Apple. That $1,000 would be $4,620. Now, Apple is what I consider a blue chip stock, and it's not really what I consider a growth stock. Let's see now investing $1,000 in Tesla in 2017. $1,000 invested in Tesla in 2017 would approximately be, these prices are after Tesla undergoed a stock split, by the way, but January 2017, just say Tesla was on average $45 per share for Tesla. $1,000 invested in 2017, my calculations, that would be about $15,500 at least that you would have had you invested $1,000 in Tesla in 2017. So what was I doing in 2017? I was saving up money to move out of my parents' house to go and pay rent. So instead of investing $1,000 in a company like Tesla that would actually have me $15,000 today, I was paying rent. I was paying $1,250 rent every single month, and I think I paid it for a year and a half. So wasting well over $22,000 plus food, gas, whatever you name it, that I wasn't even thinking about at the time. Just kind of prioritizing saving my money and leaving it in the bank there instead of investing that money. So had I invested $22,045 per share, I would have 488 shares of Tesla. Let's times that by about 700. That means I would have had about $342,000 to this day. I don't like to look at the what ifs and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I just like to look at what it is. I get it. If you're that type of person as well, I get it. But these type of figures need to come up and they need to be spoken about for people to realize, okay, yeah, you moved out of your parents' house. Yeah, you got the new Gucci bag, new Dior runners, and you know, it's amazing. It's really, really great. But did you get the Louis purse with $1,000, but the next $1,000 you saved, you actually invested that money? I'm all for luxury spending. I feel like now I'm more financially literate, but I still do spend money on things that I like, and I feel like I'm able to simply because I understand these figures. So aside from wasting $22,000 on rent at that given time, I remember even saving up some money. I said that I was either going to save up to put down on a house or I was going to save up to go pay rent. Make it make sense, whatever. It didn't. I think I had about $10,000 saved for emergency funds. That much I did right, because you should always have emergency funds, at least 3 months of rent just in case anything happens. So I feel like I had a good emergency fund. I felt like I was in a good enough position to actually sustain myself. The reason why I chose to do that, and today, to this day, I still have not put down my money on a house, is simply because with the financial decisions that I'm making, I feel like my money is growing a lot faster in the market. I can flip my money very much easier in the market, and I need that liquidity, basically ready cash, to be able to say, okay, I see this investment opportunity. I see this trading opportunity. I can potentially triple my money in this one day. If I had my money tied up in a property, then I wouldn't be able to do so. That's that decision that I'm making. There is so much more coming, so much more things that I want to speak about, show you guys beginner-friendly concepts as far as financial literacy, financial self-care. I do want to mention that people normally ask me, where do I buy cryptocurrencies? Where do I buy stocks? I currently have 3 investment platforms that I'm currently using right now. One of them, which is the most user-friendly platform. I do run into a few minor issues here and there, but if you're not like a day trader or anything and you're just starting out as a beginner investor, Robinhood is definitely the app to download or the place to go if you want to start off investing. I also use Thinkorswim or TD Ameritrade as one of my other investing platforms, and then I use M1 Finance. I'll show you guys this in a lot of detail in the future. Hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment down below, and turn on the bell/notification so you don't miss an upcoming video. So that is it for this video, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really love and appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you guys around. Bye guys.